Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to Noonday Meditation and Contemplative Prayer Power Hour, where we have been gathering in this virtual sanctuary for over a year. I cannot believe it's been over a year. We started this in March of 2020 at the very beginning of the pandemic as a refuge to get out of the drama and all the crises of the pandemic, a place to love and support each other. And I'm so glad that we did that, because now it helped me through the pandemic, and I know it helped so many other people who were able to join in. And now that we're on this side of that pandemic, we've all made it, and we're all a little bit different today than we were when we went into this. I know that I'm a little more loving, more open, more compassionate with myself and others. And what's so exciting to me now is that now we're talking about, well, now what do we do? We've got now that the world feels like it's a safer, more calming, more loving, nurturing place to live in than it was. What do we do with that? So this month I have been celebrating and acknowledging caregivers and coaches, people who have dedicated their lives to loving and supporting other people through transformation. And today I'm so excited to welcome a longtime friend of mine, Bernie Kettle. Bernie Kettle and I met each other in the Mankind Project many years ago. We were one of the first few gay men in the Mankind Project. Actually, I can remember, I came in a little before you, Bernie. I can actually remember sitting in a group of 60 men, and I was like one of two gay men in the entire circle. And it felt a little strange. So I was certainly glad when you joined the group and it was me, you, and King Mod, I think, for a while. So we got to know each other in the Mankind Project and began to lead weekends together and staff weekends together. And it's been just a lot of joy. And Bernie's been a coach for quite a while. And so when I had the opportunity, I ran to Bernie not long ago at one of the Gay Coaches Alliance virtual conference. And I thought, wow, it'd be fun to have him on the show. So we had a conversation, and here he is. And he's got a wonderful story to tell about, we don't just come out as gay men. We don't just come out once, but we come out not just twice, but we might come out over and over again as we discover more and more about ourselves. So I'm going to turn it over to Bernie now and let him share his story with us, and let us see what we can all learn from Bernie's wisdom and experience. So Bernie, thank you for joining us today, and tell us how you got here.
Thank you, Martin. First of all, I just want to talk about you and me knowing each other. Getting a little echo. No, it's gone. And you know, when I did that Mankind Project weekend, I was in the early stages of my personal evolution, and it was a weekend when, you know, most of the men were straight, like the society we live in, virtually everyone is straight. So, and I remember on the weekend, Friday night, you stood up and said something about being gay, and I was like, oh, it's okay to be gay here, and that relaxed me so much. And so I want to thank you and acknowledge you for that, Martin, because it was really important to me. And now look what's happened. You know, we have weekends that are just for men who are LGBTQ, gay, bi, trans, queer, questioning. So, you know, things have evolved a lot since then. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Thank you for reminding me.
And it's something I've made a point of doing, like making sure that participants on the, you know, what we call the standard weekend, which are majority straight, I make sure that people know that I'm gay. And it's now great because sometimes I don't have to, because other people are doing it. So I want to go back a few years before that. Like, this is really the start of my journey. I mean, I could go back further, but just for the sake of time, I was in a relationship, and this was the early 2000s, and it was a really tough relationship for me because this person, he told me he was insecure, and the way it showed up was he was someone who, when he got hurt, you know, if I said something that triggered him, he would lash out in anger. And I was the kind of person who didn't grow up in a family where there was a lot of anger. So it was hard for me to hear it. It was painful. So after that relationship ended, after about a year, I said, I need to do some personal growth work. And I went onto this journey. And the year later, I got into this very intense emotional healing program. I found Mankind Project the year after that, and that started my journey. And by this time, I was already fully out as a gay man. Like if I go back to the early 1990s, I was in the marriage equality movement, and I was quoted in the paper as a gay man. So, I was as out as I could be. And as you alluded to, the coming out process never ends, because I'm always running into new people that I don't know, who didn't see that paper from 30 years ago. So the coming out journey doesn't end. But what I realized in the early 2000s, when I started diving into my own personal evolution, was there was a deeper side to me that I hadn't allowed to come out. And so that's my fully authentic self. And I will say right now that that's a journey that is going to go on for the rest of my life. It's clearing away the conditioning that I grew up with, we all grew up with from early days. So here's the analogy that I love. I heard it in 2005, I think. We came into this world as shiny, bright, pristine diamonds. Me, you, everyone. And then as we grew up in our families and heard from our teachers and religions and society, like we had all this conditioning, this kind of crap that was put over that bright, shiny diamond. And then as time went by, that layer got thicker and thicker. And at some point we realized, this isn't the way I want to present myself to the world. So we cover that with like this veneer or nail varnish. And that's like our mask. It's our mask, but it's meant to hide this crap that's underneath that. And people can see through it. People know that that's not the real me. But we present that to the world. We polish it up and we make it look as good as possible. And then sometimes what happens is something happens in our life. Maybe there's a relationship breakdown for me. It could be the death of a loved one. It could be a loss of a job. So many different things. And that veneer gets cracked. And the gift of that is that crack allows us to see through to the diamond underneath. Mm-hmm. And we start to get a reminder of who we really are. And then from then on, it's like, okay, I want to clear away more and more of this crap so I can reveal more and more of who I really am. And that's the journey that I'm on. And that's the journey that I invite people I work with into, so they can show up more fully as who they really are. And, one of the interesting things, and I love this analogy about the diamond, is because that diamond is always there. And you know what? That conditioning, it may be lessening throughout the years, but we're going to have some conditioning for the rest of our lives. It's never all going to go away. Mm-hmm. And yet, when we remember, when we connect with that diamond that we are, that conditioning, it's like it disappears, at least temporarily, right? And we can always connect with that diamond. It's always there. So when I'm working with people, I'm working on both levels. I'm working on helping them connect more with the diamond and releasing some of the conditioning so that they can show up more fully. And my experience is what happens, the more we connect with a diamond, the less impact that conditioning has. So, so just want to kind of make sure.
I love that analogy of the diamond, and what comes up for me is one of the things that I like to say a lot is we don't blame the darkness, the conditioning, the shadow beliefs that we learn to protect ourselves. Basically, that's what those conditioning are, and we don't, and we need those because the diamond, the light needs something to reflect on to navigate through the world. So when that conditioning comes up, and I have fear or anger or shame, whatever behavior kind of pops up out of my fear that I'm not going to be loved, I'm not good enough, or whatever it is, I can stop and reframe it. and question it through I call truth inquiry. Is it true that I'm stupid and unlovable? Of course not.
Right.
The truth is I'm a diamond.
Yes.
That's the truth. This other story is an illusion that I've created to protect the diamond, but the diamond doesn't need protection.
Absolutely.
It doesn't need any protection.
Yeah. And that diamond is love, it's wisdom, it's creativity, it's beauty, it's peace, it's joy. It's like, it's all these qualities that these are beyond emotions, by the way. They might sound like emotions, but it's actually it's the state of who we really are when we're in that diamond space.
Yeah.
And
it's the essence of the diamond. It's the nature of the diamond.
Yes.
And we don't blame the darkness for being dark. It's nature. But instead, we take the nature of the diamond and shine the light on the darkness, and the darkness goes away.
That's right. Yeah.
And what you do and what I do is we show people how to shine that light.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it's about really helping them recognize they are the light.
Right.
When they recognize they are the light, they know how to shine it.
Right. Actually, we don't show them how to shine the light. We just show them that we help them see the light, and the light will shine itself. The diamond doesn't need any help, really. It's fine on its own, as we know.
Yeah.
But the only thing that can separate us from the diamond is the thoughts in our head, our beliefs.
Exactly. Yes. Oh. So, for some reason, talking about shining a light, when I was in that relationship I referred to earlier, I had a really important, in fact, I think it might have been the day we broke up. I went to his Unity church, and they asked us to join in a song. And the song was very simple. They were singing, I'm a light, I'm a light, I'm a light in the world. And then they asked us to sing it, and we were singing it. And then they said, turn to the person next to you and say, you are a light. And for me to say that to him, and for him to say it to me or sing it to me, it just touched me so much. Because in that moment, even though we were having troubles, I just recognized that the truth of who each of us was that light. And, one really important word for me is resonance. And I could feel the truth of that resonating in me. And, those were truth tears for me. They were tears that showed me the truth of that statement, that I'm a light and he is a light and everybody is a light. And when we can recognize that at the core, we're all the same, we're all this beauty, love, joy, creativity, we're all essentially the same at the core. And the thinking, the conditioning that goes on, that's how we often show up in the world. And yet, when we can see the core, we can see the innocence of anything anyone does. I'm not excusing it, but there's an innocence. Like, everyone is always doing the best they can with the resources they have in the moment. And when and this is one of the lessons I got in my 15 odd years ago, I really got that. And first of all, it allowed me to forgive myself more, and it allows me to forgive others. And of course I still get tripped up. I'm human. I don't, I keep going into that crap. But when I go back to my diamond, I remember everybody is that light. Everybody is innocent. And when I'm working with people, just actually seeing that in them, that is one of those things that allows them to flourish. Even if I do nothing else, just knowing that they are being seen for the truth of who they are, that alone can allow them to flourish.
Absolutely. And I want to share a little something with the world about how you helped me in one of your workshops. And that is, in hearing this about the diamond, I think that gay men or trans men or men who have a non-heterosexual normative attraction to sex, to men, or male energy, let's just keep it that way. I think that diamond is unique to us. I call that our unique queer nature. And people, and when I attended your workshop, and I for up until that point, I was pretty much, I would work with and coach with any man really, because that's where I'm training is with the Mankind Project. But in that workshop with you, something hit me and said, no, I am here to help my tribe, our tribe, because no straight person is going to really understand the woundedness we feel when we've been told that our unique queer nature is bad, because that's where our power is. And so part of the transformational journey that I work with, and I know you work with too, because this is what you helped me see, is to realize that diamond, that essence of that unique diamond in us as queer men is unique, and that's where our power is. That's that creative genius. I mean, our sexual drive is where our creative energy is focused, is located. And it doesn't necessarily mean we have to procreate children. It just means that's that creative genius within us. And again, we've been told to push that aside. So 2 things as a prosperity coach. One, all men, and we talked about before, everybody, men, women, and all, we have some sense of, we associate our personal worth with our net worth, with our pocketbook. But gay men have a deeper woundedness or shame around their sense of worth based on their most uniqueness of their unique queer nature.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for, so that it was your encouragement and your coaching to help me see that in me, that helped me decide, no, I'm going to go out. I can help anybody, but I really can help where my wheelhouse is in helping gay, transgender, and bisexual men. So I want to thank you for that support.
You're welcome.
Coaches need coaches too, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know you do. I know I have a whole tribe of coaches that are helping me to be more authentically me and step into my queer nature. So I just want to acknowledge that and thank you for that.
Thank you. I want to share a concept, Martin, that is, I think, is going to be valuable for anyone who has had to come out. And I'm also going to relay it, make it relatable for people who aren't queer in any way. And it's the concept of the Fiberless Closet. So those of us that are queer in some way, we have come out of the closet, or maybe we're in the process of coming out of the closet. And my experience is, particularly for many gay men, is that we come out of the closet and we go into this more fabulous space. And yet my experience is it's often a closet. It's a closet of its own. I call it the Fiberless Closet. And what I mean by that is, like, gay men, they meet, this is my experience as well. I started to meet all these different great gay men, and they had beautiful houses, or some did anyway, great vacations, beautiful clothes, beautiful boyfriends. It was a fabulous lifestyle, and it was great. And it was really important for me. And I'm not disparaging this in any way. However, at some point I realized that it was still a closet, and I needed to go beyond that. And this was my second coming out, was coming out of that fabulous closet. And let me tell you, that closet is so fabulous. I go back there because it's good. You know, it's like, if you've got a fabulous closet at home, of course you're going to go into it and pick out what you're going to wear. But nevertheless, I don't want to live in it. I do not want to live it anymore. And so, you know, when I share this with people, it's a way of seeing that there's more to them than just their gay identity. Some gay men get too wrapped up in their gay identity. And I want men to recognize there's much more. We are, as you say, we're individually unique. And this is true for everyone. I mean, straight people didn't go through the first coming out, but I think everyone has to come out that closet they've created and be the authentic self that they truly are inside. You know, for example, I know of people who they get caught up in the job and making more and more money, so they can buy that bigger house and have more wonderful holidays, but they're not feeling fabulous inside. I want people to feel fabulous on the inside as well as on the outside. And of course, that fabulous on the outside is going to change, because the more fabulous we feel on the inside, the less important that outside is going to be. So I'm really about helping people connect with that inner diamond, their own fabulousness that's already inside.
Yeah, I love that, because in that breaking through is really breaking through a conflict. Because the ego thinking mind, the shadow that created the belief that you have to be somebody that you're not, is always trying to validate that lie. And the lie it's making up is that you're not good enough the way you are in some way. You're somehow lacking. I don't care what it is. You could be gay. It could be because you got blonde hair versus blue hair. It doesn't really matter. The ego is always looking for ways to validate its narcissistic belief that we're somehow fake, we're somehow flawed in some way. And the truth of the matter is, by ourselves as humans, without the being, we are not enough. Without the diamond, we're powerless. We're nobody. So what you're doing is you're helping people get their power back by acknowledging that you have that diamond in you. That's your essence. That's your creativity. That's your spark of life. And when we can reconnect with that by dropping the shadow belief system of not good enough, it's going to always creep back up in some weird way. Like the shadow is not intelligent, but it's very clever.
Yeah.
It will always find a way to sneak in and try to validate this lie of some form of not enough. I don't care what it is, it's some form of not, because the truth is the ego by itself is not enough. It needs that diamond. Because the diamond is actually what it is. The diamond created it, first of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when we can realize that and step into that essence, we can really embrace the diamond within us. And I call it our queer nature. We can create a world beyond our wildest imagination, particularly as guys with a queer nature, right?
Yeah. I mean, look at this. There's so much creativity in the world that's there because of gay men, queer people. And so, I mean, because we had to express ourselves some way. I mean, self-expression is something that's so important to me. One of the things that I feel like it's my mission is for every single person to be seen and celebrated for exactly who they are, to live at the full expression of themselves. Can you imagine what the world would be like if everyone was living at their fullest self-expression? You know, we would be so reveling in who we are and the lives we have, that I believe that the big war would end. There would just be love everywhere. You know, with all the problems we have in the world, we would work together to solve them. So, and celebration, I have that in there particularly for gay people, but you know, it's true for everyone. We all want to be celebrated for who we are.
Yeah.
But you know, for gay men, I think it's particularly important because most of us got messages growing up that we were not good enough just for who we were. I mean, we actually got that message from outside of us. I mean, we all get it in different ways, but we particularly got it. We got it from the church, we got it from society, we often got it from our families. So I want everyone to be celebrated for exactly who they are.
I agree. And that's part of the movement we're living in today. As I talked about when we first started the show, as we moved through a pandemic. I call it the big timeout, where we had to go in and I say Mother Nature said, okay, I've created these beautiful diamonds called human beings. I've created this magnificent planet full of resources and creative energy. So you can design you can design anything you want. But all y'all seem to do is complain about yourselves, complain about the world. There's not enough. Okay. Everybody go to your room and be quiet. Don't come out until you can be grateful for what you got. Just go to your rooms and be quiet and sit still until you can figure out at least 5 things you can be grateful for. And I think most of us did. I think that's where we are today. And now that we're on this other side of this, of being a place of gratitude for our diamonds, for our unique stuff, whatever they are, straight or gay, we're part of a movement that says, no more, I'm not living in that shadow any longer. We're living in the light. We're creating a world out of that light. We're creating social economic systems for everybody to enjoy, not just for a few at the top. Because the world is full of abundance, full of resources, including money, for everybody to participate and enjoy. And now that we've got new government here in the United States that literally cares about the people they govern, passing laws that actually promote everybody's opportunity to participate in the world and life, not just because you were born into money or you were able to figure out how to steal it from other people to get yours. It's really refreshing to be with you and me and other people who are part of what I call a movement to prosperity living.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that just money. I mean practicing generosity, living in generosity, imagining that world you just pointed out where everybody's living in love and gratitude and appreciation for each other and in service for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. I have a program called Bold Ass Gay Man, which is for men who really want to like immerse themselves in connecting more with that diamond. And there's basically three phases. And the first phase is awakening that deeper level of authenticity. And, you know, that's, you know, we can keep going back and doing that. Like I said earlier, there's no end to, you know, with getting more and more in touch with that. The second phase is about shining more fully in our bold self. Now we're showing up more authentically. Now we can live boldly as that authentic self. And then the third phase, which is what, you know, reminded me to talk about this, is service. And service for me, and it's so funny, I got this lesson when I first staffed a Mankind Project weekend. Service for me is what leads to fulfillment. But it has to be service that is it doesn't come from sacrifice. It comes from giving of my gifts, but when I'm already full. And when I do that, to me, that's what leads to fulfillment. Like the first time I staffed a Mankind Project weekend, which is, you know, and I'll share for other people, it's an intense process. And my first, just preparing for it's a lot of work. And I thought, I don't think I'm going to do this again. It's too much work. This is what I was saying on the way there. But I was going to be there in service the whole weekend. So I gave fully that weekend. By the end of the weekend, I was so full. And, you know, now I've staffed 25 plus weekends. So because I really got that weekend, how important service was for me, how nurturing it was for me. And I left that weekend transformed, really, because I had seen the work we had done had transformed the people had shown up. And for me to participate in other people's transformation is so enriching for me. Hey, someone's saying hi.
Hey, Realm, how are you doing? Did I say your name correctly? Hey, Realm, so nice of you to join us today. It's great. I think Realm's a coach too, if I'm not mistaken. And he's part of the gay community. He's part of the Financial Heart Space Facebook group as well. So nice of you to show up today and hang out with us. Any questions for us or any comments you want to make before we meditate? So, yeah, I think what you had to say, this is why I wanted you to be on the show, because you had such a wonderful way of articulating the message of the diamond. I think that's such a great analogy for all, because it isn't really a feeling. It's like there's a transformational shift that occurs when we're kind or we do service. I always like to make the distinction between being nice and being kind. And when I'm being nice, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I am being nice because I want something. I want that girl to invite me to her party that she's having. So I'm going to be very nice to her. But I have to wait until she reciprocates. And if she's not, I might say something that's not so nice about her. That's nice. That's me being nice. But when I'm kind, I get the immediate gratification. There's nothing, I don't have to wait for any quid pro quo. If I just simply buy a man on the street who's begging lunch one day because I care about him without any sense of getting anything back, I get that transformational shift in me for just simply being kind, and my heart opens up. And that diamond, as you referred to, that begins to open up and expand.
Yeah.
And that's the transformation we're talking about here. When we talk about transformation as coaches, we're talking about transforming the way we see the world from our heads to the way we see the world from our hearts. We perceive ourselves as whole, complete, loving people. We see our creator, the creator within us, as loving and non-judgmental. And we see the world as a world of abundance, full of resources and opportunities to grow and prosper and create. And that's what transformation is all about. When we change the way we perceive God, ourselves, and the world.
Yeah.
And on that
coming,
note, go ahead, finish
I was
up.
going to say, coming back to just very quickly, kindness and niceness. Like niceness is looking for a reward outside. Kindness, the reward is coming from inside, right? It's that service from being full. So I love that distinction, Martin.
And I love the way you articulated it too. So we're gonna, and I knew this would always happen. People say, "What are we going to talk about for 20 minutes?" I said, "Promise you, when we get going, the 30 minutes will come to a close pretty quickly, and we'll be ready to do some meditation." And we do. So I'm going to ask you, Bernie, just to sit back and let you be my meditation student for the next 20 minutes or so, and you don't have to do anything but just get still and breathe. Okay? Is that
I'm
fair
ready.
enough?
Like a good Brit, I've drunk my tea. I'm ready.
Okay, so just close your eyes if you're comfortable. Leave them open. Whatever is helpful for you to get more in touch with being present to the moment. That diamond, and I'm going to use that diamond reference through this meditation today. I think it's such a wonderful way of seeing the world. So we're gonna polish the diamond today in this meditation. And the way that the kind of meditation and the contemplative prayer that I do and that I teach is something called centering prayer. And what that simply means is we center all of our focus around the heart. We get out of our heads and we get into our heart space and connect with that diamond, feel the diamond, experience that diamond within ourselves. And it's a process it's a 4-part process of one, just stopping and getting still, like Bernie's doing right now. We just get still and begin to breathe and go inside. And then we let go. We intentionally let go and surrender all those beliefs and opinions and judgments and stories we make up about ourselves and each other and the world. We just consciously say, I'm going to let go of those things for a moment and just listen and feel my way into that diamond space. I'm going to feel my way into my essence with the breath and just listen. Listen to what the diamond has to say. Listen to some truth the diamond has to say. The truth of how powerful, what we call this, the power hour. And there's that bell. We're going to hear that bell throughout the meditation, and it's just a reminder to wake up from our thinking, our worrying, our sleeping, whatever has distracted us from being present to the moment. That bell is there to wake us up. So you can't stop thinking when you meditate. People say, "Oh, you stop thinking." I can't stop thinking. Well, you can't. Nobody can. Maybe unless you were a guru, sat on a mountain for 50 years, but we don't have time for all that. We only got 20 minutes. So you can slow it down. And what I'll teach you a little secret is this: when you're thinking, your tongue is vibrating. So a way of reverse engineering is to slow down the tongue, and you'll slow down the thinking. And the way I like to do this to become conscious is to take the tip of your tongue and rest it on the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. Slightly part your lips so that you can breathe through your nose and your mouth and relax your jaw. So just try that. And now just breathe. And as you're breathing, consciously feel the breath gently massaging the tongue as it goes in and out naturally. Just allow the breath to gently massage your tongue, particularly the back of your tongue. And just begin to notice as you gently slow everything down. Notice any tension you might have in your body somewhere. Any feelings you might be having, just feel them. Don't resist them. Just let them be there. Matter of fact, you might even want to feel them more deeply with the breath. We're going to go inside and explore our interior landscape. Get to know that diamond. Get intimate with that diamond. And just breathe. It's gently massaging the tongue. And notice the belly as it's actually working to help you breathe. And allow the belly to pull the breath more deeply into your belly as an anchor, as a spiritual anchor to ground your body into this moment and into the chair. And just notice the breath coming in and the belly pulling the breath across the tongue, down the throat, opening the heart, expanding the belly to create a little more space. And then let it go. And when you let go of every thought, every opinion, every judgment, every belief you might have about this world and this place we live. And just breathe. Just begin to breathe. And use the belly muscles to pull you deeper into yourself. And allow the vibration of that bell to wake up and pull you deeper inside. Let the vibration, feel the vibration take you deeper inside to your heart and into your belly. And we're going to do 3 what I call belly breaths to create even more space for that diamond to flourish inside. So with your belly muscles, you're going to pull the breath in through, with intention, pull the breath in through the nose, through the mouth, across the tongue, down the throat, open the heart, and pull it deep into your belly and create some space. You ready? Pull it in. Pull it in a little bit more. Really expand the rib cage. Really expand the belly and hold it open until a little bit uncomfortable. And just let it go. And as you let the breath go, let go of every thought. Let go of every opinion, every judgment you have about anything in this world. Let go of any beliefs or judgments you have about me, about Bernie, about this broadcast, about the world, about God. Let them all go. Each and every one is just a little obstacle standing in your way of that magnificent diamond within you. So just let them go. And we're going to do another deep belly breath to clean up and shine that diamond up a little bit more. So then pull the breath in through the mouth, through the nose, down the throat, across the tongue, open the heart, deep into the belly to create a lot of space to shine that diamond. A lot of space for that diamond to dance in and sparkle. Hold it and let it go. Allowing the diamond to come alive and dance. The light, your essence. I'm going to do one more belly breath, and then I'm going to be quiet for the rest of the meditation, except for the interval bells that you're going to hear, and I'll comment to again wake us up so that we can reset and fall back into relationship with our diamond. You ready? Here's that last breath right now, big one. With your belly muscles, pull the breath in through the mouth and the nose, across the tongue, into the heart, deep into your belly. Really expand everything. Create as much space for that diamond to dance and sparkle as you can. Hold it and then let go of any remaining thoughts and beliefs and opinions you have about yourself or the world. Hold on to nothing. Just be still and fall back into the unconditional love essence of yourself and ourselves. And there, I don't know what happened to the interval bells, but that was the final bell. I must not have had my interval bells turned on, but that's 20 minutes of meditation. So welcome back, Bernie. How you feeling, my friend?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I went. I don't know where I went, or maybe it was, I don't know where my ego went. My diamond was here.
That's good. Doesn't that feel good? Reconnect with that diamond, that love essence of ourselves, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Is anybody out in the audience have anything they want to say or comment on? And I want to say this to our audience. If you're watching the replay, which more people watch the replay than watch the live, because that's the beauty of replays, is the fact that we can tune into something we like and care about at a time that's convenient for us. Not everybody's around at noon. So, but what I will promise you this, if you will comment as if it were live into the replay section, watching the replay, I'll come back and I'll answer your questions and I'll respond to you. Because I really want this to be a transformational experience for you, whether you're watching it live or watching it from a replay. So I just want to put that out there, and I'll be happy to, my joy actually, to come back and respond to you and tell you what I think about that, if that's what you want. Bernie, I would like to know, is there anything else you'd like to say before we end today that you want to share with the audience? If there maybe was one little tiny tip that you might give to someone who's still in the closet and somewhere on their journey to get out of that closet.
What's coming to me is like connect with the heart. Like, I mean, I have a reminder on my phone every day to listen to my heart. And when I take the time to connect with my heart, I'm connecting more with my essence, my diamond. And that is, for me, it's very nurturing, very, it's like fuel for life.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to go out and have stuff food and drink into ourselves sometimes. In that moment, in that one moment, here's a great question to ask. What can I do right now to take care of myself? Like, and it might be just take a deep breath. It might be connect with the heart. But take a moment for yourself continually throughout the day, frequently throughout the day.
I couldn't agree with you more. I could not. That is exactly, I would tell you exactly the same thing. There's something about people who work in heart space. That is the reason why for the name of my company, Financial Heart Space, is because I think the same thing is just to reconnect to that energy source, reconnect with that diamond, reconnect to that fuel, and do it over and over and over time. Every time you disconnect, because I promise you, the world out there always throwing you challenges, throwing you darts to disconnect you. And so that's where the challenge is to come back and to sort of say, oh, there you are. Mine's always telling me I'm talking about this, and I'm getting ready to do a 5-day free webinar, free show teaching on June 7th for Pride. And my ego said, "You're not ready for that yet. You don't do it yet. You don't have what it takes." And I'm like, "Get off my playing field. I got everything I need right here to make this come off and do it from my heart. It'll be fabulous. So get off my playing field." But my little ego is in there. It starts to, "Oh, you don't have it already yet. You don't know what you're going to talk about." Blah, 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 blah. And it could fill my head up with all kinds of self-doubt. So I'm going to take your advice, Bernie, and I'm going to first I want to say hello to MD. MD lives in, I believe he lives in one of the Arab countries. I'm not completely sure. I think he lives in Egypt. And he's been a regular on our show, and he's just a wonderful, wonderful person. So thank you for joining. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining us here again today. It's just so sweet to see you here with us. And so how do people find you, Bernie? People want to they want to know they want to get to know you and find out if you can help them in some way. How will they find you?
Yeah, well, they can go to my website, berniekettle.com. Very simple, berniekettle.com. What I want to offer is anyone who's listening to this, if something that I've said has resonated with you and you want to have a conversation with me, you can go to my website and you can fill out the contact form and say, let's have a chat. and we'll set up a 15 to 30-minute chat, get to know each other, and we'll take from there. That's completely complimentary. I want to do it as my gift for you. Right now, I don't have any workshops coming up that are on the schedule, but there will be. So you can get on the wait list by going to one of the workshops that's showing up right now, and I will let you know of anything that's coming up in the future.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, Bernie. And I'll say that from having known Bernie, I would take him up on his offer. He means it. He's good at diagnostics. So just having a short conversation with him, he's been doing this for a while. He'll help you clearly see what may be standing in your way of your diamond and how he might be able to help you get unstuck from that. So I would definitely take him up on his offer if I were you. It's a nice offer.
Yeah, and not just what's getting in the way, but also getting more clarity around the vision that you have for your life. Some people just aren't aware of it, or they're too scared to really, really connect with it. So, yeah, those are the two pieces that I like to talk to when I have these quick conversations.
Great. That's it. That's even better offer. It's like let him help you see your diamond if you may not be seeing it. I see you're from Dakar. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you're here. I love having an international audience. So hold on for 1 second. I just want to make a few announcements and then close this out, and we'll meet backstage for 1 second, Bernie Holiday. So as I will say again, I am a spiritual teacher. I'm a prosperity and mindset coach working with gay, transgender, and bisexual men. And I want to make you aware of an upcoming workshop that I have for Pride. It starts on June 7th. It's a 5-day free. It's insane. This is insane. It's a 5-day workshop to transform the way you think about yourself, your God, and the world when it relates to money. And during this workshop, we're going to get Bernie talking about clarity. You're going to the first day, we're going to go in there. We're going to look at your money story, and we're going to find out, where did you come up with this story that told you weren't good enough and you better make all this money? We all learned that from somewhere. So before we can clean out the closet, we got to find the dirt. So on day one, we're going to look at, where did you come up? And we're going to challenge the validity of that story so you can see the truth of who you are. You can see that diamond. And then the rest of the days is, how do we polish that diamond? How do we cultivate it? Because it's my belief, when we begin to see ourselves, the truth of who we are, who our creator is, and who the world is abundant. I'm abundant. There's nothing lacking. When we begin to have that transformational knowing, everything changes. And so my intention for those 5 days is to take you for less than an hour a day through day, through a process, through a hero's journey, if you will, to help you discover that truth of who you are and why you're here. And with that knowledge, with that wisdom, there's nothing that's going to stop you from taking yourself to greatness. So that's coming up, and it's free. It's going to be on June the 7th. It's for Pride. It's for gay and transgender men only. This workshop is, and it's going to be on, and there'll be more to come on that shortly. In the meantime, I want to make you aware of a couple of other groups, and that there is Financial Heart Space for gay, transgender, and bisexual men. And I want to encourage you, because that's where we do all the work. That's where the workshop's going to be held. Additionally, I love everybody, but my work is specifically around the woundedness of gay men. But I have a bigger picture, a bigger vision of the world, and anyone's welcome to join me inside another Facebook group that I have, where I teach a lot of spiritual teachings and wisdoms in relationship to money, and that's called the Financial Mystics Sanctuary. And that's another safe space for transforming our beliefs about ourselves, our God, and the world as it relates to money and finances. So I'd love to see you on the inside of both of those. So in the meantime, may love and prosperity prevail. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Bye-bye.